This podcast is part of the Famous Original Podcast Network family. You can find us by going to www.fopnet.biz.
All over. Contains strong language, strong opinions, and strong beer. It is not meant for children or for those who think they are children. You know who you are.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Joining us now is one of our very loyal supporters. You definitely know who he is if you listen to Twitter Time, because he always asks the questions that make Austin and I very confused and think a lot deeper than we're supposed to be thinking. His name is Jesse Hoffner. Jesse, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. Just trying to chill out for the first time today.
Yeah, that's important, man. We are too. We're drinking some beers. We're enjoying life, right? Are we enjoying life, Austin? Is it about time for us to enjoy life or no?
I am now. I just took the first sip.
Perfect. Yeah. So Jesse,
the first sip of enjoying life.
That could be your autobiography.
If I made a beer, that's what I would call it.
Really?
Yeah, because then people would have to say that.
Wow.
Like I'm drinking, enjoying life.
Okay, I would name my beer like cum or something, because then you could you have to say, hey, I'm drinking cum. It's like, but I'm not really drinking cum. I'm drinking the beer. Anyway, hey Jesse,
would it be a milkshake IPA?
Jesse, are you a beer drinker? Do you like beer?
I do like beer. I hardly ever drink though.
Oh, okay. That's probably a good thing. Now, let me be honest. We know who you are from our Twitter. It's
our new Twitter.
It's our new Twitter from our Twitter interactions, but we don't really know a lot about you. So why don't you start off by explaining to us and telling us and everyone who's listening who you are?
Well, I'm basically like my Twitter bio says. I'm socks with sandals personified.
Okay.
Super boring. I work. I come home. I read. Get depressed because of what I've read. And then I go to bed and then I get back up and do it all over again.
So you're living the American dream, is what you're telling me. That's what you just told me. Okay. So what do you read? What do you read that makes you depressed and disappointed?
Right now, I'm reading Alt America by David Newart.
I don't know why that would make it depressing.
I mean, you could just watch Fox News. It's pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
Don't do that. I paid a lot of good money for this beer.
Yeah, don't spit it out.
I do that though. I do that. Like I usually, because I'm listening to podcasts like 99% of my day, and I'll have like either Fox and MSNBC or CNN on mute, and I'll just watch it and just like I just feel my brain melting because it's so bad.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick a bone with you, Jesse. All right. I am a lover of mainstream media. Fox News all the way. Fox News for life, actually. MSNBC and I have been in bed with each other, Austin. Okay? Okay? Lawrence.
Now you're cheating on me with Fox News and MSNBC?
Specifically Lawrence O'Donnell. He's my bae, okay? So let me pick a bone with you here. Why do you hate mainstream media so much? How do you hate Wolf Blitzer? He's gorgeous, and he has the best monotone in the fucking world.
He also has the world's most Nazi-sounding name.
It's a tank. It's a Nazi tank. We've covered this, but he's still the greatest thing.
It just sounds more like one of those terrible days in the beginning of the invasion of Poland. It's like
a Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah, they made it through Kristallnacht, but they got knocked off by the Wolf Blitzer. By the way, Wolf Blitzer did a special on Holocaust remembrance.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Oh, why? Why?
And actually, Jon Stewart was the one to point that out. He's like, maybe get somebody with a less Nazi-sounding name than Wolf Blitzer.
Wolf Blitzer. Oh my god. So, what do you have against the mainstream media, Jesse? What's your problem?
It does not challenge power in any way.
Oh, come on. What about CNN? CNN's constantly fighting Trump, aren't they? Isn't that's what his Twitter says?
They're fighting him individually, but not the idea of him or everything that happened to lead up to him. Well,
to be fair, there's not that much of an idea of me.
Okay, all right, fair point. What about super progressive liberal MSNBC? I mean, they are the most progressive.
Sounds like a cereal.
I'm trying to keep a straight face through this.
I'm sorry.
Okay, also, you're not helping. So what about super liberal progressive MSNBC?
Yeah. So basically, if you were to look at cable news the same way you would our political parties, you would have a far right party and a center right party. So basically, you have the exact same thing, just slightly nicer, or at least on the surface.
Okay, it's a polished turd.
Exactly. Okay. And it's literally just it's every show is just a Russian conspiracy hour. Like you can learn absolutely nothing about the world from watching that show.
It's kind of true. It is kind of true.
Well, I from what I understand, we don't even need to care about the world but once a month.
Yeah, I mean, God, it's the world news.
All of not America.
What is world news? I'd never heard of that before. There's nothing obviously going on in the world. It's all America all the time. America. So, like, if you had to pick one.
Great. Steven has, I love the Not America report.
Oh, Steven's great. He is fantastic. And the truth is, we need a guy like that to tell us what's going on in the world because, and to get out of my persona that I was never able to actually get going.
We call that persona Jake Tapper. Well, actually, we call it Jake Tap Him.
Tap him?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'm
for
okay
you.
Jake Tapper's smarmy face.
Well, they never these mainstream media sites or news outlets actually really don't cover the world news that often. Only if there's a terrorist attack and the really terrible things, and then you see them for maybe 5 minutes. I remember when there was a string of terrorist attacks in England, maybe like last year or something like that.
Gotcha.
And England was in the news on CNN all day for one day, and that was about it.
Yeah,
which is kind of disappointing. But
yeah.
So if you had to pick right now, Jesse, because I know you have a vendetta against these mainstream media, there's only 3 that matter. But who are you picking? You got to no, there's only 3, Austin.
Yeah, you're right.
It's MSNBC, CNN, and MSNBC. So who are you picking to watch right now? Or you can actually tell us who you really watch. That's what I'm more interested in.
I pick I-24.
I-24. Okay.
Yeah, it's like this. I'm pretty sure it's basically just like an Israeli propaganda network.
Okay.
It's in the same block. It's weird. Like I was flipping through the channels one day and I saw like, oh, we have a new news network, and it's insane. It's an insane channel.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the Fair and Balanced mantle from Fox News. I was watching it on mute the other day, and they actually had like one of those little slots where they promote their channel and stuff, and it actually said unbiased. And
Really?
And then whenever the commercial break ended, it was about how it was about the Holy Land, how Israel, like all of these old, like all these artifacts and stuff, supposedly showing that like what is currently Israel has always been Israel, and it's just these damn Palestinians like hanging out on their land.
So it's real news, is what you're saying.
Super real.
I mean that sounds like news.
Yeah. If I were to have to choose between those three, though, I'd probably have to say CNN.
Oh.
But as long as it's not, as long as you're smart enough, which shouldn't take any real effort, to kind of like ignore the 4 or 5 people that they'll have on the screen voicing their opinions, and just actually like paying attention to what they're actually saying, or what they're like the topic that they're focused on, just nothing surrounding it.
Gotcha.
Just like event happened, and then everything after that is like, okay, I don't really need to pay attention.
Right. Yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I think one of the things that I like to do, and it seems to work, is if I see a story that's on all these media outlets and it's similar,
Except for Fox.
even sometimes Fox, then I kind of know, hey, that's probably an actual thing that's happening.
Well, I mean, but there have been times when there's big news, actual big news, like, court rulings or the findings of certain investigations that are breaking news on all the stations except for Fox.
And meanwhile, Fox is probably talking about Obama still. Probably Obama. By the way, thanks, Obama, for still listening. We still have that one listener from Kenya. It's really strange. So thank you, Obama. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
No,
So, Jesse,
the best source for just like your daily actual news is probably Democracy Now!
Ooh, I've always loved Democracy Now!
Yes. Except for, I have one bone to pick with Democracy Now!
Go ahead,
as
Austin.
a musician.
Oh, okay.
That opening theme really drives me nuts every time.
Jesus, Austin.
It really does. Oh, well, Tom's never heard Democracy Now!
What are you talking about?
Have you ever listened to Democracy Now?
Yeah.
And you know the opening theme?
I do.
No, you don't.
I swear.
You're lying to me.
No, I swear.
Okay.
There used to be this channel that I used to be on my my cable package called Free Speech TV,
Oh, is Democracy Now! on there?
and Democracy Now! Was always on there. Yeah, that's how
I like how
that's how I found out about Howard Zinn and all these other progressives.
somebody on the Majority Report called it like socially responsible porn music.
Okay, I mean I get it, but I mean that can't be fine. Well, you're a musician, so I guess that's fine.
and then I was
And when he says pick that bone, by the way, he's actually talking about himself.
yeah, I am.
Get it? Picking a bone?
Yeah,
It's
I
a
get it.
euphemism for masturbating,
Yeah, I know.
in case you didn't get it, Austin.
Luckily, it'll be over quick. But I was even more disheartened to find out that wasn't like where they paid a composer to just write something for them. That's an actual song.
Oh, really? I
by
didn't
a
know
band.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So why don't you reach out? How about this? How about you
want
reach
me to reach out to them?
Yeah, reach out to Democracy Now!
Oh, Democracy. Yeah, I could reach out to them.
Yeah, and say, hey, your music sucks.
Yeah, let me fix it.
Let me fix it.
They would probably
yeah.
actually include because they have like the intermission music 2 or 3 times per episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then send them something that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should send him some. But I mean, and it's more just a joke than anything. But the rest of the music that they do play is actually usually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Just that opening. Just every time I hear the fretless bass, it's like, oh my god.
Leave it to a music snob.
But they are an incredible news source.
They are. Yeah, I've always enjoyed Democracy Now!
Yeah.
Let me ask you a couple questions about the greatest president in the world.
Finally.
How'd you know I was talking about Donald?
Because you said greatest.
So I have a feeling I know the answer to this, Mr. Hoffner, but do you like Donald Trump?
Please say yes.
I would say, as far as success, yeah, he's been relatively successful in what he's achieved, or what he set out to achieve.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's probably held more to his platform than any president ever.
Totally. What's a platform?
No, but for real,
Got moving the
embassy, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
I've
Yeah,
done so many good things
Did
that other
that.
people did, and I took credit for it.
yeah. He stopped Mexicans from coming over the border.
Totally. Except for the ones I hired, Trump Tower.
Yeah. He just hired them
Yeah.
illegally.
He is currently overseeing our greatest attempt at ethnic cleansing.
Oh yeah.
For at least a century, huh?
It's about time.
Yeah,
about
well, I
time.
need to make the news somehow.
It's about time. He's also helping the stock market fall down, which is great. So wonderful.
Yeah.
But let's backtrack to 2016.
Well, but hold on, before you get there, I do have to say I find like it annoys me when the stock market falls because I know that public employees have their pensions tied up in the stock market because of some terrible decisions in the 70s and 80s. If it weren't for that, I'd almost be like, great, because it's just rich people losing money.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
But then you realize, like, but then they put
us.
people's retirements in.
It affects us.
Yeah.
Maybe not us yet.
No,
but,
it doesn't affect us.
but eventually it could. I'm ready to retire. I don't know about you.
That's
so-
just another excuse for employers to try to screw their employees even more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So tell us who you supported in 2016. I have a feeling you know the answer, but it's going to lead to my next question, which I'm curious about. So who did you support in 2016?
Gary Johnson.
Please be Gary Johnson. Please be Gary Johnson. Please.
Where in the world is he?
He is currently.
Nobody knows.
No one knows this
Nobody
week.
knows.
We're not going to know this week.
Yeah, he's still in that box.
We're going to leave him there for a little bit. For about a month.
Look, all libertarians need to survive is a little moxie.
Yeah, a little
and
moxie.
a hole in the box.
And a hole in the box so you can put your dick through it. Okay. So who'd you support in 2016?
Primaries was obviously Bernie Sanders, and then I felt really gross, but then voted for Hillary Clinton.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that at least. I was really hoping that you didn't say Jill Stein.
I think I would describe our support the same way.
Yeah,
almost exactly.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it was not the best vote I've ever had to give, but I gave it to Hillary at the end. So that actually leads me to my next question, which I'm curious about asking other progressives this, because there's going to be a fucking mosh pit of candidates in 2020.
Which is good because one of the candidates is a punk rocker.
Right, but the others are fucking not. So
it won't be great for him either because he gets a lot of corporate donations.
No. All right, so let's take Bernie out of the equation for 2020 because you're probably
Fucking taking me out already.
because we're probably going to support him either way. So, other than Bernie, who has your support in 2020? And it could be literally anybody. And if you don't say Cory Booker, we're ending the interview right now.
You're going to have to cut it short then, my man. Because he's pretty garbage.
What? He's a progressive, isn't he? That's what he tells us, at least.
That depends on how you define progressive. But,
yeah, I know. So who do you really support coming 2020, other than Bernie?
Other than Bernie, Sherrod Brown's not looking bad.
Okay.
He has really strong labor record.
Mm-hmm.
That would definitely be in his favor. I'm basically since they all kind of suck, I'm pretty much just like going through who I would not vote for.
Okay, so tell us those. Who would you not vote for in the primary if, let's say, Bernie for some reason does not run or whatever the case is? Bernie's not in this equation. Who are you not voting for?
Okay, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. Let's see. Oh, definitely not Beto O'Rourke. He's trash. God, pretty much any of the names that have been floated around so far are all pretty bad.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say Joe Biden because he'll win.
No, I don't know.
Look, Bernie Sanders is very old.
Is he?
We need to go with some young and vital, like Joe Biden.
Yeah, a 73-year-old rather than a 74-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Clinton's what, 71, 2, something like that. Yeah. Hillary's in the name in this mix as well, which fucking scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a really bad feeling, guys, that it's going to be the same thing the Republicans had. They had so many candidates, and most of them suck.
But the thing is, but the populace won their primary. So hopefully the left populace will win ours.
Well, maybe, but we'll see what happens.
Because the thing is, if you think about it, there is going to be a ton of candidates, but there's going to be one for leftists.
Right.
And then there's going to be 1 million for the centrists to fight over.
Sure.
So you're hoping that one can consolidate enough leftists to win the nomination.
And you're talking about Elizabeth Warren?
Of course, I'm talking about Elizabeth Warren. No, I'm not talking about Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, right. And that's obviously the dream sequence. If he runs, by the way, Bernie.
He's going to run.
Why? He hasn't said it yet. No.
He said if he's the best candidate to beat Trump, he'll win.
Well, then
and
he's
of course
going to
he
run.
thinks he is.
So he's going to run.
Yeah, of course.
But will the Democrats back him up?
No, but the thing is, if they spread out the rest of the support enough, just like the Republicans did.
That's true. Yeah, that's how Trump got.
That's exactly how Trump got it.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know. It would be something.
Yeah,
it could be good unless again
if
Hillary runs.
Because right now, who could run that the leftists would rally around other than Bernie Sanders?
I don't know, like a Tulsi Gabbard. Nah, she's probably not
popular
even.
No, I don't think so.
Not popular.
I think
enough.
maybe if the Constitution were different, it'd be AOC. Would be the only other one that they would rally around, just like rally around Bernie. But he's going to have leftist support.
Yeah. What do you think, Jesse? You think Bernie has a serious chance in 2020 since all three of us are obviously supporting him?
I'm not convinced he's running yet.
Mm-hmm. Me neither, by the way.
He did just have a meeting with Elizabeth Warren a couple days ago, huh?
Yeah, he did.
That's true, yeah.
I think the two of them are working out some policy stuff and probably trying to decide, like, between the two of them who would stand the better chance of winning. But and as far as all of like you said, it's going to be a mosh pit in the primaries. Like there's going to be like 40 of them.
It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, if the Democrats decide to be anything like Republicans, like they're just going to have to obviously be in the opposite direction, but they would just have to keep tracking further and further and further left. Because with the Republicans, it's obviously just going to be like, okay, you say you want to cut taxes this much, okay, screw that, I'll cut them this much.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it just progressively going further and further into fascism. Whereas hopefully, we can at least get somewhere closer to social democracy.
Mm-hmm.
We actually seize the state and have a full gay luxury space communism.
Hey, by the way, fine.
Just totally my new cover band.
Good luck, Joe. That's probably a Queen cover band. Let's be honest.
Yeah, a cover band, and they cover Toto.
Oh, okay.
Well, what else are you supposed to do when you feel the rains of Africa?
Okay. Whatever.
I think my dad went to school with one of those guys. Or
Really?
he was like maybe he might have been like in a grade below him or something
That's
like
still
that.
kind of cool.
That would be like the weirdest trivia to have. I went to school with one of the guys from Toto.
Oh, yeah. And most people are like, who? And then you say Africa. And like, oh my God, yeah, I know that song. Which is a meme at this point.
Weezer covered it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good cover, by the way. I enjoyed it.
Not bad, yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think you're right. Would you think if Bernie does run, which I hope he does, but I'm not sold either, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him saying at one point that he feels that he's stronger in the Senate. Now, if that's the case and he doesn't run, or if he does run, I should say, do you think he would go with another semi-progressive in like a Warren as a vice presidential pick, or do you think you do the strategy part and pick someone more toward the middle?
No, I almost bet that's what they were talking about.
Yeah. Them two running.
Yeah.
Would you like that? That'd be a pretty good ticket, I think.
Me. Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate Warren like a lot of progressives do.
No.
I know a lot of progressives get on her.
I just don't think she is a strong enough candidate to beat Trump.
I think she's easily attackable, if that's even a thing, a word.
And then, like, you know, when she tries to defend herself, it just ends up being worse.
Right, yeah. Like her getting the ancestry test.
Yeah, that was just a huge mistake.
And you shouldn't just let it go. No one was calling you Pocahontas except for the alt-right at that point. Just leave it alone. Now, all of a sudden, you pissed off Native Americans. It's like, oh, no.
She's more policy than politician.
Sure.
She doesn't really have that instinct. I mean, sometimes whenever she has some pretty good rhetoric, but then, then she makes comments about like a gentler, kinder capitalism and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And you just what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, get out the guillotine. We don't want a gentler capitalism.
Yeah, we're fucking tired of this system, man.
I mean, look at the French.
Yeah.
Again, their shit changed.
They are, and we're not.
Yeah,
we're stuck in this loop of being fucked over and over. It's not the good kind of fuck either.
No,
it's not the pleasurable fuck.
No,
it's not hitting the G spot, if you will. Okay.
As a government or what?
Yes. Yeah, both, Jesse, both. It's been a long couple of years. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna kink shame anybody. Like government fucking whatever. I mean, that's fine.
Listen.
People are into corn cobs and shit. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Listen, if we have a progressive government, I'll easily bend over for that government.
Oh boy.
Metaphorically, of course. Not at all.
No, not at all.
That reminds me of something. Before I forget, this is completely off topic.
That's okay.
It's kind of in keeping with basically what you do around there. Okay. Tom.
Yeah, hi.
Are you familiar with something called movies?
Man, sounds familiar. Is it a movie? Is that a movie?
Yeah. They're called the talkies.
The talkies? Oh, I've heard the talkies before with the picture thingies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard it. Yeah. I'm familiar.
Getting warmer.
Okay.
So my life's mission since I was
Gladiator
years old is getting everyone that I encounter to watch Blue Velvet.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I would love to see you watch Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet?
Yeah.
I can't even keep this mantra up. I've never heard that before.
Of course not. No, of course you haven't.
Never heard of Blue Velvet. All right, what's Blue Velvet? Sell me on Blue Velvet, and then I might watch it. Is it on Hulu, first of all?
No, I think it's on Netflix.
I have Netflix. Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. It definitely was at some point.
Okay.
If not, I'll send it to you in the mail.
Okay.
But basically, yeah. I mean, it's David Lynch. In my opinion, is David Lynch's best movie.
Who?
Yeah, and the one that he'd be most likely to.
Who's David Lynch?
Oh God.
I'm not kidding. I'm really not. I'm not trying
kidding.
to.
That's what makes it so sad.
I'm not trying to piss anybody off here. I don't know who David Lynch is. Can I get a picture, Austin, or something?
Austin, you think like maybe have you seen The Elephant Man?
Yes, I have seen The Elephant Man. That was
David Lynch.
I don't. The Elephant Man was David Lynch, but I wouldn't recognize him because he had tumors.
Well, no, it wasn't. David Lynch is a director.
Oh, he's a director.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was a good movie. So I'm sold so far. Okay, go on.
Okay. As far as selling it goes, it was the first movie that I remember that really just had me like, what the hell did I just see? And why do I feel like this?
Oh.
Like, this is not a typical like suspense or drama. This is a little bit, there's more going on here.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to Gladiator, where is this?
Oh boy. That's the dumbest scale in the world.
Excuse me? 1 to Gladiator is the dumbest scale in the world?
Yeah, it is.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
It's the greatest scale in the world.
No, it's
1
not.
being like, Adam Sandler's Waterboy.
Nope.
And
Thumbs down.
Gladiator being... The greatest movie of
Historically
all time.
inaccurate, thumbs down.
It is historically inaccurate. You're right. It's not as bad as Braveheart, but okay. I mean, maybe I'll watch it.
Boy, I don't know. I feel like you're gonna have to work your way up to that one, Tom.
Really? Is it that bad? Or not
It's
bad?
not
but
bad. It's just so outside of what you normally watch.
What do you think I watch, Austin?
Gladiator.
All right, fair point. I'm gonna make a note about watching Red Velvet,
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet 3.
There might be a Red Velvet. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's not a David Lynch film if there is.
Who's David Lynch again? He's a director.
Director.
Right?
Yeah.
Not an actor.
Well, I shouldn't. I mean, he's acted in some things.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a reoccurring cameo in Twin Peaks.
Oh, that's right.
I
Which he
don't-
also directed.
I don't know what that is.
It's a great show.
Thanks, Austin.
It is. It was from the early 90s, I think. And then they have a new season. 1 or 2 new seasons. I don't even know on Showtime.
I think it's 2. I'm not sure yet. I'm waiting till the series is completely run its course. So I can get a 7.
How long is this movie?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's that long.
No, it's maybe an hour and 45 minutes tops.
I think that's okay.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Okay, I can do that.
On a scale of like Gladiator to Titanic, it's roughly a Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay.
But
I like that scale.
That broke my mind. I have no idea what you just said.
Well, have you seen Titanic?
Yes, Titanic I've seen,
Okay.
which is like,
Because that's really long.
yeah, well, Gettysburg is the longest movie I've ever seen. So that, to me, that would be the 10.
How long is it?
It's like 6 hours.
Okay, that's long.
There's an intermission in the movie for
Well, there's an intermission in The Hateful Eight, too. And that's not 6 hours.
no, but that's also because what's his name? The director
It's Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino is a little bit, out there.
Well, to be fair, there was only an intermission in the 78mm version.
Which one did I see with you?
Just the regular version.
I saw the Hateful Eight.
It was Hateful Eight, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I went,
Also known as Red Dead Redemption 2. Just saying.
You mean the video game also known as The Hateful Eight?
Wrong. All right. So since we'll end it on this question for you, since you brought up movies, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Well, that's just boring at that point.
Yeah, you haven't seen it, though.
Oh, fine. How can you never mention this to me?
I don't know, because you won't even watch like the slightly strange movies I send you, let alone something David Lynch.
Is this strange?
It's David Lynch.
Wait,
He's a surrealist.
now the name sounds sort of familiar. Now I don't know why all of a sudden it just clicked. Who directed the movie Gone Girl? No, it's not David Lynch.
No, that was David Fincher.
See where I got the confusion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are good. He's a good director too.
he's a good director. I like that movie. Well, very good.
One of these, we're gonna get Tom to watch a Serbian film and see what happens.
A
Oh,
Serbian
boy.
film? All right, guys, can we relax a little bit, please?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Why
Show
a
it-
Serbian film?
Tell him anything about it. Just say
Well,
it's a Serbian film. It's fine.
It's the title of the film.
Oh! I thought you meant like,
Just anyone?
yeah. I think like there was like a meme around like Serbian films or something. Okay. All right. Well, listen, I'll try to check out Blue Velvet if I have an extra hour 45 that I'm not playing video games with. Is that fair?
You got it. That's fair enough.
All right. Listen, Jesse, thank you so much for not only coming on, but also for your continuous support of our show. We really appreciate you chiming in on Twitter time and just daily conversations with us. And thank you for listening. If there's anything that you want to plug or say to advertise or whatever you want, you can do that here if you want, if you have anything.
No, I'm literally, like I said, socks with sandals.
Well, I think everyone listening should go on his Twitter at Jesse Hoffner. Is it 1 F or 2 Fs? It is 2 Fs probably, right? Yes, 2 Fs. Hoffner. At Jesse Hoffner on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Give him some.
And watch
some
Blue
support.
Velvet if you haven't.
And watch Blue Velvet. Yeah, it's a great movie.
That's what this entire conversation boils down to. Is really watch Blue Velvet.
Watch
Okay.
Blue Velvet. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jesse, for everything. And I know this will probably be released after Christmas, but
Yeah.
happy holidays to you and your family.
Oh, you too, man. Again, thank y'all for putting out a show every week. Literally every single week.
Yeah,
Well,
somehow.
It's funny because when this comes out, it'll be during the time where we're not recording an episode.
But this will be an episode.
It will be an
So it'll
episode.
still be
Yeah,
out, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, it's our pleasure. We love doing what we do. And it's a lot of fun, and Trump gives us a lot of stories to talk about. It's pretty easy, actually. It's an easy job. All right. Well, thanks again, Jesse. Much appreciated. Joining us now is a friend of both Austin and myself, a fan of the show. We're a fan of hers. A Twitch streamer, a musician, and a ginger full-time. It's Hannah Pribble. Hey. Hannah.
Yep, full-time ginger for sure. Everything
Full-time.
else second.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, you got to be a full-time ginger. I mean, full-time gingers. I had a character that was a full-time ginger on Red Dead Redemption. Everyone hated him, but for different reasons.
Ginger hair, which is now aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, yeah, not which a little bit better, but yeah. But hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I did some house cleaning today, ran some errands, did some Christmas shopping. I think Victor and I are going to go out for dinner later on and have a nice meal and a movie.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Christmas is. I just realized Christmas is like 3 days away, and I still haven't gone shopping yet. So this is bad.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Who are you buying stuff for?
I guess my couple friends and my mom. Do you get parents gifts? Is that a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't really follow this pagan tradition. I really don't understand it.
Exactly. Usually I just give my parents like a nice picture of me and Victor, though, because that's all they ever want and can ever really afford. But
can you send one of you and Victor to me? I'll give that to my mom. Maybe she'll like that. I don't know what my mom likes. So,
I got my whole family donation cards for the Human Fund.
I'm sure your grandmother will really appreciate that.
It's money for people.
Yeah.
that's all I ever asked for my mom, and she always goes all out and gives me like a bunch of gifts and stuff. I'm like, no, mom, just give me gas cards and money. Like that's what I want.
That's the best gift ever.
The best gift I got for her husband this Christmas was the webcam that I'm now using on my stream, which has like increased my viewers like twice over. So it's been a good tool to use.
Nice.
It's very clear. It's much nicer than the one that I've been using. But it does help. It does help, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to make one point. If somebody ever asks you, the listener, what do you want for Christmas? If you ever get that, and the person says money, don't go getting them clothes and stuff like that. Give them money.
Yeah.
It's such a
they can get their own clothes.
Yeah, seriously. Or maybe I'll just pay bills with it instead of getting me fucking useless clothes. It's just so annoying. I hate Christmas so much. But as I did mention, Ms. Hannah, you are a streamer on Twitch.
Yeah.
So Austin and I both stream on Twitch, so this is going to sound like a dumb question because we know exactly what it is. But why don't you explain your channel, how you got started streaming, what do you stream, all that good stuff?
Well, my Twitch channel is Hannah EMP, HANNAHEMP. So if you all want to follow me, that'd be great. I started actually the Twitch channel like a year or two ago on a whim because our roommate at the time, she was streaming and she wanted to start streaming, and I was like, yeah, let's both make a Twitch channel and like co-stream all the time and play together. And then like I streamed for probably like a week and then just dropped it and then didn't get back into it till about end of September, early October of this year, and started doing it consistently. Just started actually getting on the follower grind and meeting people. And now I stand at like, I think 89 followers on my Twitch. And
very cool.
1,000 channel views and 2 subscriptions. So I'm hoping to get more. But it's been a great been really fun building a community, and like even with like you guys, playing games with you guys, like I've gotten to know you guys better as people through it.
Oh, we're sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's so much fun to play with you guys.
Are you sure you were there last night when we played Human Fall Flat? Were you?
It's fun. I mean, I was drunk as a skunk, so it definitely had me rolling on the floor laughing for a few times. Although being pulled off the edge of the world multiple times by Tom when I had to go to the bathroom, I just come back to see him just throwing my body off the world. But no, it's been great. I've made a lot of friends. He doesn't get out of the house a whole lot during the day, but I think Twitch streaming for him has really created this community and like connections with friends that he didn't have before. So it's been a really positive influence on both of us. And hopefully I can get more subs so I can get paid.
Yeah. It would be nice to be able to turn a hobby into a profession, or at least maybe not a profession, but into a hobby that will actually help pay your bills. Right, Patreon?
Or at least buy you a 6-pack every once in a while.
Right, Patreon?
which actually Patreon has done, so thank you.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, after hosting costs and equipment stuff, 6-pack's about what we get.
Sometimes.
I'd like to get to the point where my subscriptions pay for my subscriptions to other people.
Yeah.
About 2 subs to my channel, which I will never see those $10 until like a year from now when Twitch finally gives me a check. But I have about like 4 or 5 subs that I want to keep going, so I kind of want to like supplement my sub payments for that.
Yeah, it's weird, and there's probably a bunch of people who don't even know what Twitch is, but Twitch is a platform similar to like a YouTube, but you do all live streaming. Most people choose to play video games, and you can watch them play video games. There are other things like podcasts and cooking shows, and I mean it's evolved into this gigantic platform. Millions of people every single day are on it.
I have to admit, I've been mesmerized by some of the cooking channels. It's like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me, but I'll be working because I work on my computer all the time, and then while I have audio files exporting, I always check out Twitch to see what's going on, and I don't know, just I found it's a couple of people who cook, and it's like,
it's pretty much the TV of like the younger generation right now, because and the NFL is getting wise to it, and like ads for the NFL being broadcast on Twitch, and like esports are broadcast on Twitch, cooking shows, bodybuilding shows, like it's people will get subscriptions just to watch people work out.
Right.
That's crazy.
And
if I'm not mistaken, I think they actually broadcast Thursday night football games. They do,
yeah. The NFL started doing that earlier this season, where not every streamer, there's most of like a bunch of the popular ones, but like I don't have cable anymore. I got rid of cable, and for the most,
me neither.
For the most part, I've been using YouTube as that source, but I don't even go on YouTube anymore. I'm almost always watching Twitch, and that way I even get to watch football now. And I guarantee you, I'll say it here first, you will see every NFL game being streamed eventually. The NFL just they just went into it, and each stream was getting hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Well,
they're gonna have no choice eventually, because I think a lot of like their older like viewer base on TV and in the stadium is eventually going to die off or lose interest.
Like the baby boomers.
Yeah.
And really, what they have to wait for is that DirecTV contract to expire.
Yeah, probably.
And I think as soon as that expires, I think the NFL might just broadcast all their own games and not like sign up with the networks.
Yeah, because it's
anymore.
Free. It's absolutely free.
Yeah.
Like as like something who's like a live sports event or an entertainment event, like there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be on Twitch.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. Austin and I both stream video games. We even did our live podcast on Twitch, and it's been pretty good. But you're not wrong with the subscription thing, Hannah. I started off with just using my Amazon Prime, which it's called Twitch Prime. If you have a Amazon account, you get a free subscription that you can use. I started off by just giving that to a streamer. Now I have like 6 people I'm subscribed to, and I'm like, that's $45 a month,
right?
Just on subscriptions.
Really adds up. You don't really realize it.
No. I know.
Subscribe to your friends, because then you can like support them, get their emotes, and then get like sub badges and stuff. So
which is really cool. So what I've ended up doing is I got pretty much stopped supporting the bigger streamers and just supported our circle that we've kind of built around. which is pretty cool. You have a cool fox emote that
I know.
I spam on like every channel.
I always bring it with me on when I have any other channel that I can actually be in chat. I use the full fox and like have it as my mascot, and then it's just always me in all the chats I go into.
So what kind of games do you play on Twitch? Because you're a video game streamer as well.
Yes. Right now it's a lot of first-person shooters. Overwatch has been like my staple game since it came out like 2.5 years ago. So I still stream that quite a bit. Even interest in that globally has kind of died down.
A little bit, but it's still a very popular game.
It's still really popular. I find it's more popular on the PC versus the console versions, but that's because I think PC players are generally more.
Yeah, I agree.
League is going to start back up. The Overwatch League, which is really interesting, that's coming back in February, and that will probably pique more interest in the gameplay. I'm doing a lot of Red Dead Online, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I hope Rockstar adds more content to the online, including poker, because
they will.
I anticipate that the excitement for the online is going to be dying down soon unless they do add more content. A lot of like riding around and hunting and stuff. So,
which is probably actually not the worst thing in the world, because I was playing a solo version on the online, and it's very tough to do that. And you almost have to have friends to go play on it, which shouldn't be like that. But because it's so oversaturated right now and all the servers are pretty much full of people, it's probably actually not the worst thing that it dies down just a little. But I think they're going to add plenty of stuff. I mean, the game itself has so much shit in it. This in the online mode's missing half of that. So if you just
it's still in beta, isn't it?
I think
technically,
I think so. Yeah.
But as like all these YouTubers have been saying about like the online, the beta like tag literally kind of means nothing as far as like the video game producers are concerned, because they slap the beta label onto something to be like, oh, don't worry guys, this is just a beta things, and like secretly being like, we don't really want to change much. We just kind of want to see what's the reception, and then tweak a few things.
You're right. It's a test. It's literally just a test. A lot of the times with those betas, so alphas are the ones where they're really testing. It's a base model of your game. The beta, which is the next step up, is oftentimes like a server test, especially with online. It's testing to see how the servers are working. If you remember, Hannah, I think Austin, you were probably there too, but we were playing, and I went back to like defend you as you were running away, and all the horses started spawning up and down really fast.
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot about that.
So that's the kind of stuff that like alphas and stuff like that test. And so now if a developer would see that, they're like, oh, okay, we should probably fix the teleporting horse problem now.
Well, wait a second. Oh, the teleporting horse problem? That is totally my new cover band. Come on. That's amazing.
That's a good one. It's actually a really good one.
The controversies with the beta label actually came about with Fallout 76, because
what a
I don't know if you guys have been following the catastrophe downward spiral Bethesda has been doing, but it's been pretty bad. And one of the things is that like they had all these pre-orders for the game, months in advance, and then they're like, okay, the beta gameplay will come out, and then the game will. Well, the beta, literally days before the initial release of the game.
Yeah.
And so like everyone's like, well, this sucks because the bugs are still here. Like the servers are almost literally unplayable. There's nothing to do. There's no NPCs. And then they're like, oh, it's just a beta, but it's not really just a beta, because this is the product you're going to see unless.
I mean, the people who want to play that game spent the entire $60 to buy that game.
Right. And then it was discounted like literally a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, if you pre-order the game, or if you pre-order like the extra package, you were supposed to get this like I don't know if it was like a backpack or a knapsack.
It was like a canvas bag.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be a canvas bag, and I guess they realized after they had announced that it was going to be too expensive, so the product that they actually got was like a nylon, plasticky kind of bag. And people fucking
like a garbage
freaked out. Yeah. And
well, you actually had it wrong there. They didn't tell the customers anything.
Oh, they just did it?
They just did it, and that's why the outrage happened. Was that like, these people paid $200 for this package, and they essentially got a power armor helmet, which is cool, a map, the game, and a garbage bag.
Right.
And so they worse was they sent in repair tickets to Bethesda, being like, okay, Bethesda finally wised up after a bungle of a PR response to this. They're like, okay, if you want to order a canvas bag, which we will supply you, send in a ticket, and we will make sure it gets to you. Well, something happened on their website that when these people sent in a repair ticket for the canvas bag, they got doxxed by their own website. And personal information, including passwords, credit card numbers, and addresses, got exposed. And now this was only like a dozen people. But still, like, the people who were burned by Bethesda didn't get their product they paid for, tried to fix it, they got doxxed by Bethesda. And so, like, freaking apologize. And I think it's fixed now, but holy crap, Bethesda.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, like, Bethesda's reaction to that was to, hey, we're sorry, here's 200 in-game tokens. I forgot what their unit, their money is called.
It's 100 per
Atoms,
dollar.
atoms.
Yeah, it's 100 atoms per dollar. Yeah. And that was actually their initial response to the person. They're like, oh, we're sorry if you don't like what material the bag was made out of. Here's 500 in-game atoms, which is equal to $5 actual dollars. Yeah. But what's more insulting is that the canvas bag supposed to be the in-game bag that they were supposed to receive is 700 atoms. Jeez. So they gave them not even enough money to buy the in-game bag. And the in-game items that they have in the store, Austin, I mean, to get like a mustache, one of a YouTuber was showing this, to buy this certain like handlebar mustache, it was 600 atoms just to get a mustache. Wow. And like all the stuff was super expensive, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 atoms, so like $20, $25 just to get like cosmetic appearance stuff. Mm-hmm. And like skins and shit, and they didn't even give them enough for a mustache.
Wow.
It's like
That's crazy.
It was really funny to like watch, because I don't play Fallout, never did, so I was watching this from a distance and just seeing the reaction. I don't know. Have either one of you ever heard of the Angry Joe Show?
Yes.
Yep. No, I haven't.
It's a review. It's this one guy who does these hilarious reviews. He'll play a game until it's over, and he'll find every bug that he can, and he just makes these ranty, ravey kind of reviews. If you get some time, watch his on Fallout 76. It's fucking side-splittingly hilarious. It's so funny just to see how bad the game is.
Wow.
And I was actually like excited for this game too, because I've played, Skyrim's my go-to as far as like any great RPG game, and then I played Fallout 4, and I actually bought Fallout New Vegas recently just on a whim, just because it was $15. But like I love the Bethesda RPG kind of style and the gameplay, so I was actually like interested in buying 76, but thankfully I watched some beta gameplay on YouTube, and I was like, oh Jesus, this looks bad. Oh God.
Which is actually another good point for watching Twitch. If you are wanting to buy a video game, or maybe not even for yourself, but for like your son or daughter or whatever it is, you don't have to just buy games like we used to have to when we were kids and then find out for yourself, wow, this is a hot pile of trash. You can actually watch other people play it and watch them say, hey, this is a hot pile of trash, and then not buy it. Because I might have bought 76 as well, because I now that I started streaming, I was like, oh, maybe people would like this. Thank God I didn't spend money on that. I would have been so fucking mad. So mad.
And from what I can understand, like the people who I know personally who bought it, they said they are having a good time and they're playing, but they do need like friends to play it with. Otherwise, you just either get griefed by people or nothing to do, or it's just boring. So
right. Yeah, I've heard the boring part a lot too, especially if you're playing by yourself. It's one of those, they definitely want it, but they to the game's credit, they did want that to be you get on with your friends and play with them. But the problem is, if your game is so bad, no one's gonna fucking buy it. So your friends are not gonna have it.
Right.
That's probably gonna be an issue.
$50. Nope.
No. Let me ask you this question. Well, first of all, have you been playing video games your entire life, or is this sort of a new thing?
Definitely since I'm, old enough to realize what video games were. I think first console that I had was the original PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
And like me and my brother, we always would play games together on the PlayStation, especially like Madden. And it would be so funny because he was the sports guy. He would play football, and he plays a lot of sports throughout high school and college. And I was the band geek and like the nerd. And so we would play the original Madden games on the original PlayStation. And because I didn't understand football, tech, and like play strategy, I would just Hail Marys. Every play was a Hail Mary, and he would get so bad because I'd beat him a lot just throwing Hail Mary. Hail Mary! And I win.
I hate Madden for almost that exact same reason. I can't stand that fucking video game. It's one of my least favorites in the entire world. It's the one game where you don't have to know anything about the sport and you can win. I've had my little cousin who's like 9. He doesn't know what the fuck a football team is. He can kill me on Madden because he knows the 3 plays that always work. It's like, fuck exactly. Video game.
The Hail Mary.
Fix your shit, video games. So, Hannah, what's your favorite video game of all time? I think you probably said it with Overwatch, but maybe it's not.
I mean, Overwatch has been very much my favorite in the past few years, but I think my overall time favorite game is Kingdom Hearts. And those are very 2 different genres anyways, which is why I'm super, super excited for the new Kingdom Hearts game that is coming out next month. And just to plug myself even more, I'm having a birthday stream on the day it releases on the 29th. So if anybody wants to come by and wish me a happy birthday then, that'd be awesome.
January?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. I'll definitely be there, for sure.
Yep, I'm planning on giving away a free sub to a follower. So, yeah, that's
cool.
That's like a thank you to my followers and such.
That's awesome.
Well, we'll make sure this gets released before then.
Well,
we'll
yeah.
wrap it up for you.
Yeah, for sure. Austin, what's your favorite video game? I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I feel like we were asked this, but I don't remember what you said.
My favorite. Well, we asked it of ourselves. Oh no, we did. They did ask us. That's a good. I think I might have to say Red Dead 2. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah, because originally it was the first one was my favorite.
Oh, okay.
And I think this one's better.
Sense.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good fucking game. I have to finish the campaign. I haven't really dug too much into the campaign, but it's a solid video game.
Yes, it is.
I thoroughly enjoy it, and I love the online. It's just the fact that you can be as goofy as you want, and there's really no repercussions. I've killed maybe 6,000 people in 5 gameplays online, and I'm still fine. Not in jail or anything. Well, that's good. All right, so we got the video game conversation taken care of for now. At least we'll backtrack at the very end. But as we were talking before the show, something in politics recently happened today. They were recording this, which is the 22nd of December. Our government is shut down for the 65th time in 2 years, as Donald Trump has really made America great. I hope you both
So great,
agree.
we don't need a government anymore, guys. We're all set.
Might as well. Has the government been open more than it's been closed since he's been president? I don't know.
I think so. I think, by the hour, sure. But we had that quote shutdown in like September, where it was just a weekend that didn't do anything. But
I feel like they just never got back. But that's just me. Anyway,
Right.
So as we were talking while we were waiting for Slowpoke Austin to get on, this government
I kind of like that nickname.
Slowpoke Austin, really?
your new state
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Sure.
Make sure it's your new grinder name,
making
please.
his way to the stage. Slowpoke Austin. We're gonna have to give him a minute though.
That might be a good grinder name.
Slowpoke Austin. Come on, hurry. Come on. All right, your set's over. But this government shutdown, while I don't know how long it's going to last, no one really knows how long it's going to last, could affect you in a lot of ways. Would you mind sharing those just so people know like what the average person could be going through right now?
Right, exactly. Well, me personally, I work full time and everything, so I have very little to do with the government shutdown. But my partner, Victor, he's disabled, so he receives disability checks every month, and his only means of healthcare is through Medicare. And my grandmother, she's retired, but she has COPD, so she's on oxygen constantly. And she, also has Medicare and Medicaid as far as her health insurance. And so, even though this might be just a temporary shutdown, like if Trump doesn't get his head out of his ass anytime soon, it could see, the shutdown being going on for months on end. And then, even though I've looked into it, grandmother actually got concerned at the last shutdown that her retirement checks wouldn't come to her. And I was like, no, as far as I know, any sort of temporary shutdown won't affect any sort of disability or retirement checks. But at the same time, it's like, well, eventually you would have to influence it a little bit because, the people who distribute the checks and, work to make that happen, eventually they're not going to get paid. I wouldn't show up for work if I was a government employee not getting paid. I'd probably lose my job. But, somewhere down the line, it's going to affect every single person down to their health care, their Medicare, their Social Security, anything like that. It's going to have to affect them eventually.
Yeah, and for anyone who has somebody who's like disagreeing with them about this government shutdown, when that person says, Trump is just defending his cause, play back what Hannah just said, because I guarantee you that case is happening to millions and millions of people. Potentially. Again, this could end tonight. We don't really know. But this is
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I saw a notification that said that, like, because of the Christmas season, all the senators and representatives are home now, and they won't rejoin in Congress till Thursday.
Yeah, I saw the 27th being thrown around a lot for when they get back together. So that means it might be into 2019 by the time it reopens. I don't know. It's all speculation, but just because Donald Trump wants a wall.
Mm-hmm. And that's it's the most stupidest thing ever. And it just upsets me to no end because even when people say like the stupid thing of like, oh, if we don't agree with the government and what they're doing, we should just stop paying our taxes. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because the Defense Department's always going to be funded. All these other things that are always going to be funded. The politicians are always going to be. The only thing that's going to affect anything if you stop paying your taxes are literally the people who depend on Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, Social Security, and disability. And it's just like, so you're only going to be shooting your grandma in the foot. You're only going to be shooting, any disabled person in the foot by being like, well, let's just not pay our taxes and stick it to the man.
Man, I wish it worked like that, where it's like, hey, I disagree. I don't get to pay taxes. Oh, my God. I would never agree with the government. I don't care if Bernie Sanders himself is president. I would never agree. I'd be like, hey, Medicare for all. No, I want people to get sick and die. So I don't have to pay taxes. If it worked like that, and if you use that example or something similar to that, people are like, "Oh, that's not the point." Well, it's kind of the point that you're trying to make.
Yeah, it literally hurts the poor and the little person first. So I always just scoff at anybody who's like, "Well, we could really stick it to those politicians if we just stop paying their paychecks with taxes." Oh
yeah, they care. They absolutely care. When they're after they're done cashing their oil company check and insurance company check and everything else.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just ridiculous. But yeah, like this whole wall thing, the bleeding heart liberal in me or progressive in me wants to be like, never, ever concede to the goddamn wall for this xenophobic bullshit. But on the other hand, when it's like actual people in my life who might be affected, I'm almost like, just fucking give it to them. I don't care.
Yeah, and I'll say the same thing I said to you off air. Like, I agree. I think at that point, I would, if that's what it took, then fine. But I'm worried that if you give him this win, it just starts a domino effect.
Snowball effect.
Yeah. And I don't want that to happen, especially when the policies are like this. If all of a sudden his policy is, hey, I want everyone to have Medicare, but I'm not going to call it Medicare for all. I'll call it Trump Care for all, whatever. I'll support that.
Right.
But, for purposes like this, I just don't want to see anything. Even when the House gave that or passed that $5 billion bill just to like shut him up, even though it was a bill dead on arrival,
right?
I didn't want to see that either.
It was freaky.
It was very freaky. Yeah.
Here's the only issue I have, and I know that the shutdown will affect tons of people, and it's going to be horrible for a lot of people. And on almost any other issue, I would agree that, at a point where people start to really suffer, you got to give in. But this is, and poll after poll shows us, this is the singular issue that will get him reelected.
Right.
Because if he doesn't have
that wall,
if he doesn't have that wall, the polls show his supporters are likely to abandon because it's the one thing they wanted. Because it's really his only policy plank.
Right.
And so, at a point, I mean, it's hard because you have to look at it like, this could be another 4 years of Trump. At what point, you have to really do, and it sucks, but it's America. Or you have to do a cost-benefit analysis for everything.
Now, let me ask you guys this: back in September when we had the down over the wall, and Chuck Schumer tried to introduce the spending plan for, okay, we'll give you $25 million for the wall to start building the wall if you give us DACA. Like, what was your opinion on that?
Well, $25 million is not enough to even build.
Right. It might have been something larger, but like.
No, I think you're right, because honestly, I think that was a move by Schumer to just kind of give him the finger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, here's some money so you can say something, and then we'll get these kids protected. But I think that I might have supported, because he wouldn't have actually built anything.
Right.
And even and the thing is, even Ann Coulter at the time was saying, if he takes that, that's nothing. We want the wall.
Right.
And when she's leading those chants against him, they're not. His followers, have been following her lead, and people like her for a while now. And if they're not happy, then the followers aren't going to be happy, and it wouldn't have been enough.
He unfollowed Ann Coulter on Twitter?
Yeah, I did see that.
He what?
He unfollowed Ann Coulter on Twitter because she kept saying he was gutless and a wuss or something like that for not sticking to his guns on the wall.
It's the one thing I've ever agreed with Ann Coulter about. How about that?
I know, it's so crazy because it's like there was something that came out like a week ago where he said that something stupid. Oh, the wall production's coming along great. We're building the wall just fine. And then Ann Coulter was like, "Does he think we're more stupid than a Huffington Post reporter?" The wall is being built, and I was just like, "All right, Ann, all right. I can see where you're just like trying to defend your values for this wall, but it's hilarious that you were just like, does Donald Trump think we're that fucking stupid?"
Yeah, and that's coming from her.
Yes.
And that's coming from her.
Yeah.
Which is like, wow. That's.
Well, the thing is, to be honest, she has been incredibly consistent about what she wants, and it's all the horrible things that he said he was going to do.
I have been consistently horrible.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't even think he really wants them, because his whole life has just been him saying stuff,
Right.
and then getting money for it. It's like,
for him, it's about the win. I think it's about the win. I think it was Jon Stewart. He made a point by saying Trump doesn't really care about the presidency. He just wants to look powerful. For him, it's not so much a policy. He probably doesn't even give a shit what the wall's going to look like or anything. But
if he just wants slats now.
Right, but if he gets the wall, then that's what he is going to use that to champion everything.
Yeah, it's going to make him look tough.
Exactly.
And it's the only issue that matters to his followers. It's the only one.
Right.
The only one. If he doesn't deliver, they're going to stop following him, and that's what we need. So that's why it's such a hard fight, because what what could possibly happen if you let this go on, but that's when you have to do that cost benefit analysis. Like, can the entire country live through another 4 years of him?
Right. And I would say probably not.
No.
And that's why I was for that Schumer and DACA agreement, because
that would have just made him look stupid.
and Trump would have lost and the left would have won.
No.
So
of course, Schumer couldn't even play that the right way.
Of course,
he's such a fucking idiot too.
But if a deal like that happened, fine. $5 billion for the wall is a lot more, and that's
But that's still only like 1/4 of the most conservative estimate of what the wall will ultimately cost.
But
I know, but it would be enough. It'd be enough to get a decent portion of it done, and then
he'd just be like, "Oh, job well done."
Hey, it's funny, and you make a good point. it's funny that the really far right who want this wall are the same people who are saying that universal health care cannot happen because it's too expensive. But they're okay with spending billions and billions and billions on a wall that won't even actually do much, since most immigrants come by water, not land.
And plane too.
And plane, and
they just overstay their visas.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So it's so idiotic, and I really
like his wife.
Oh, Jesus.
Who overstayed her visa. She did.
Or his 3 wives.
Or his workers at the golf courses, which we found out about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it's so funny, I shared an article on Facebook that was like, nation with crumbling bridges and infrastructure demand building a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Create new structures, not fix the old ones.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Like, if anybody ever drives on the roads in Michigan, they will understand. They will abandon that wall call and call for new roads in Michigan immediately.
Yeah.
Well, the Pennsylvania roads are just as bad.
Yeah, we've never worked on our roads before. We've been working on the same highway from Philadelphia for 30 years.
And you should see the subways in New York.
Yeah. I was there not too long ago. I thought a cat walked by me. It was a rat.
Yeah. Well, that's all fucking.
A rat's so big it was anyway. A cat.
I'm not kidding. I looked at Austin and I said, I think there's a stray cat. And Austin like casually is like, huh? No, that's probably a rat.
Do you guys listen to comedy at all, like comedians?
Sure. Yeah.
Have you guys listened to
who? I'm sorry, say again?
Patton Oswalt.
Oh yeah, of course.
He has a great bit on seeing the biggest rat he has ever seen.
Oh no.
I forget what it's called, but there's a segment on one of his albums where it talks about how his wife saw the biggest rat, and if you ever look it up, you should definitely listen to it.
Is it currently residing in the White House?
I wish we could just call him a rat and kick him the fuck out.
Oh man. Well, Hannah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Go ahead and utilize this last couple minutes here to plug your channel and anything else you want to as well, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I've been streaming on Twitch for the last few months, but I'd like to keep doing that with more support from you guys and the rest of the community. If you want to follow my Twitch, it's twitch.tv/HannahEMP, HANNAHEMP. And I'm hoping to do my birthday stream on January 29th with some Kingdom Hearts. So even if you just watch once, come on by and watch me.
There you go. We'll definitely continue to support. We're not going anywhere. You can't get rid of us that easily. Once you start, it's like...
even stop by from time to time.
Yeah. So, good work with everything you've been doing on your channel. It's
Thank you.
Very entertaining. I love the variety. Not really. I enjoy the variety in gameplay. I'll watch Twitch streamers who only stream like 1 or 2 games, but it's good to see a decent variety. Well, you've only been on like 5 times.
I know, and 4 of those have been
Red Dead Online.
You gotta get that coffee conversation show started there, Austin.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for the break. That's what I'm because that's going to take like launching a new show levels of work, and I can't do both at the same time.
No, we still have 3 interviews today and then 4 tomorrow. so this weekend shot.
Yeah, sure.
But like once it gets going, then I can do both at the same time. But starting a new I'm going to go out and film B-roll for an intro that I have to piece together, and I have to do graphics and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a little more labor intensive.
There you go.
Yeah, because it's a visual medium too.
Exactly. Which I have a little bit of experience with when we did this briefly, but this will be even higher stakes because it's live.
Oh yeah, you can't fuck up like we used to. But yeah, thanks a lot, Hannah. Best of luck with everything, and especially with your channel. And we'll be in touch. Well, we'll all be in touch very shortly, but we'll have to have you back on the show again whenever. We got a new year coming up.
Yep, I certainly will. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Once again, thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us on Spreaker.com/DumbleOverPod. We're also available on iTunes. Just look up DumbleOverPod. We are on all the social medias, starting with Twitter @DumbleOverPod, Facebook @DumbleOverPod, and of course, there's Instagram. And you guessed it, it's @DumbleOverPod. We are also on Patreon. So check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbleoverpod. And if you're interested in buying some merch with some special logos, you can check that out at tpublic.com/user/dumbleoverpod. Thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.